Today's video is brought to you by Factor. Whenever I need a quick hassle-free meal, I just come right over here, grab myself a Factor. All of these meals are fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved, chef crafted recipes. They are delicious, and these things are ready to go in just 2 minutes or less. All you gotta do is give her a couple pokes, and look at that. We got a steak and shrimp that looks delicious, and we just pop this guy in the microwave, set her for 2 minutes. Just like that, she is ready to go, but be careful, these things do come out really hot. Oh, that looks delicious. Factor has a weekly menu of 35 different options to choose from, and there's all kinds of different diet options on there, whether you're on a keto diet, whether you're trying to watch your calories and you want a calorie smart meal, vegan, veggie, protein plus. With Factor, there's something for everybody. Grab me one of these shrimp, look at that. The shrimp, excellent. Piece of the steak. Oh yeah, that's a good meal right there. I think you guys would be surprised how tasty these Factors actually are. You see us advertise them quite a bit, but they got their seasoning in there and everything just to make it taste good. I think if you guys tried one of these out for yourselves, you'd be surprised. They are actually really delicious. Best part is, once you're done, you just throw it away. No mess, no cleanup, no groceries. You're ready to move on with your day. If you guys want to get started on Factor, all you have to do is go to factor75.com, use our code 50BoostedBoys, and you'll get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That is code 50BoostedBoys at factor75.com for 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, we are at the new place here, and we got the twin engine Prelude that we just picked up, and we are getting ready to take this thing over to the drag strip to see how fast she goes with these twin H22s. For those of you that don't know, we just picked this thing up at auction, and it has a stock H22 in the front of the Prelude and another stock H22 in the back, both of them connected together with one shifter. This thing is really sick, and I want to see how fast it goes on the twin H's. And I have not got to drive this car yet since we purchased it. I've literally just pulled it into the shop here, so this will be our first time driving it at all. And now that we're just down the street from the drag strip, we'll be able just to hop in and drive it there and see what it can do. But first I wanted to try something with it. All right, front engine on. Back engine on. Listen to those H22s. Now I just gotta put her in four-wheel drive right there. We should be good to go. Dude, this thing is so cool. We're just tearing up the grass. She's a really clean car, so I don't want to beat on it too hard out here. And we haven't even got to race it at the track yet. So let's go ahead and take it to the drag strip. So something that isn't ideal about the twin engine Prelude is there's like no room to put stuff because there's an engine in the front, and then you normally have a trunk in the back, but there's another engine back there. So we got all the track and gear just kind of tucked away in between the seats. And so she's not much of a grocery getter, but we made it work. And right now I'm just on the front engine. The rear engine's disengaged. And now let's see if this thing will crack VTEC real fast. There's VTEC. Third gear, beautiful. And she's pretty peppy. And now all we have to do to go into four-wheel drive is put our linkage back on, fire up the back motor. And now we are twin engine. This will be my first time driving it on both motors on the street. What, dude? Oh, dude.
Dude, this is gonna pull a good time, dude.
I don't know. You got up and went. Dude, just nothing but traction.
That's impressive.
The low end torque from both the motors.
Honestly, dude, this thing, it felt powerful.
hit third gear twice at the same time beautifully. I don't think Dennis hit it that hard when I was in the car. But when VTEC hits at the same time between two engines, I mean, she's putting you back in your seat a little bit.
What a long drive.
The long 3-minute drive to the track. All right guys, we got the twin engine Prelude at the drag strip here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to make our first pass on just the front engine alone and see how fast it goes on the stock front engine. And then we're gonna do a pass on the rear engine, see if it's about the same, make sure both motors are running about the same time, and then we'll combine them and see how fast this thing does on both of the H22s. So there's really nothing else to it. It's not gonna run super fast on this front engine. I'm not even gonna put a helmet on because you don't even need a helmet out here unless you're running 14 and faster, which I know this thing's not gonna go faster than a 14 on just one engine. And we'll see what it does. Take your guesses. I think on just one engine alone, with the added weight of an engine in the back, I'm gonna guess she's somewhere about a 15.5, 15.6, somewhere in there, like maybe 80 something miles an hour. That's gonna be my guess on one engine. But only way to find out is to put it in line and see. So we'll go ahead, see what it does on one motor, and then we'll go to two. Something else that I needed to mention on the Prelude here is that it does not have an e-brake. So it's just the shifter, and I have no way to really stage it. So that it's gonna hurt our 60-foot time pretty good because I'm not gonna be able to preload it at all. So it might have a little bit of rollout before it gets up and going. But, you know, we're not trying to set the world on fire in this thing, but I just wanted to mention that if we want to drag race it later on, it'd be good to get an e-brake in this thing. But we'll see what it can do, just as is. All right, let's see what this Lude can do on one H22. Not really sure if we should do a burnout, but I mean, we are drag racing, so we might as well. All right, well, here goes nothing. All right, let's see what you got, Prelude. Front engine. Right around there. I went to it just to see what it was at. Not bad though. We got smoked by that Challenger. Looks like we went through the traps maybe around 90 miles an hour if this speedo is correct. So we'll see what that was. I'm still on my guess, about 15.5. Thank you. Damn, 15.4 at 90 miles an hour. That speedo is accurate. A first hit on the twin engine Lude on one engine, 15.4. 90 miles an hour with a 2.2 60 foot. That's gonna be tough to beat without a handbrake. And yeah, let's see what the back motor does. Well, not bad. A little quicker than I thought it was gonna go actually. 15.4 at 90 miles an hour on one engine, and it's hauling a whole nother engine and trans behind it. So not bad, 2.2 to the 60 foot. I'm curious if we can go any quicker to the 60 foot on the rear engine because the weight's going to transfer to the rear, because a front wheel drive car, even with a handbrake, it's hard to get a good 60 foot because when you launch, all that weight transfers to the back of the vehicle naturally. So I'm curious to see if there's any difference on running it exactly the same but on the back motor. So real quick, we got to unbolt something on the shifter to convert it to rear wheel drive mode, because Dennis told me that he actually never would run it on just the rear engine. He said if he only drove it on one, it would just be the front. He told me that only the front engine has an alternator, and it also is hooked up to the brake booster for power brakes. So my thought is to get the front engine to neutral. We'll just have the rear one hooked up, but I will start the front engine and just let it idle as I'm making the pass, so the alternator's still charging the car and it's still providing power brakes. All right, so to put it into rear wheel drive mode, we have to take this guy off right here. So this is the linkage that we put on to put it into four-wheel drive. You just pull this clip out, put this one on there, and then the back motor's hooked up when it's hanging off. It's not. So I'm gonna do the reverse of that and take this one off and just have the rear motor hooked up. And then in theory, it should just be rear-wheel drive, and we can run it like that. That's a pretty cool little piece. It looks like he made that custom because it goes all the way through for the factory one right here going to the front, and then it has this extension off the side for that rear cable. That's definitely a homemade piece that he put together. That's pretty cool. And we should be rear engine, rear wheel drive. All right, so since we're gonna leave the front engine running for the alternator and brake booster, we don't want to be revving the motor unnecessarily. We don't want to be taking this to rev limiter, not being in a gear. So we're gonna also take its throttle cable off so it can just idle while the back motor does all the work. All right, we'll just leave that right there. Gotta make sure it can move and not bind up on nothing. Yeah, it should be good. Front motor's idling. When I hit the gas, nothing happens. She's in neutral. And we can start the back motor up. Should be able to put just the back one in reverse. Oh yeah. Rear wheel drive, baby. That's pretty cool. All right. So we'll try that and see what she does on the rear engine. Got to make sure both of these H's are in similar health. This is good for us to know whenever we go to upgrade it. We want to make sure both motors are running strong, so it should realistically run basically the same time. As long as both motors are putting out the same power, it does the same 60 foot. We should see another mid 15 on this run right here. If it only traps like 70 miles an hour, we know that that other engine doesn't have the hot tune in it. All right, see what we can do on the rear engine here. And we did a burnout on the front engine. It was open diff as well, so I think only one tire was spinning. But we got to do a burnout on the rear engine now. Please don't break. That open diff, only one spinning. This thing is so hard to stage because it's just going to want to creep forward. All right, here we go. Second bulb. Faster trap on the back motor. The launch did feel slow, but we'll see. Dang, that's pretty surprising. 15.3 at 91. The motors are running very close in power levels. So now we'll hook them up together and see what this thing does. I have no idea what it's going to do with both engines, but I'm pretty excited to see what happens. Well, she went faster. Did a 15.3 at 91 mile an hour, so that back engine is a little peppier than the front, and it was even a worse 60 foot, which I was surprised by. I mean, I did ride the clutch pretty good. I think I slipped it definitely too hard, but it did a 2.4 to the 60, which is 0.2 slower. So if it did the same 2.2, like that might have been like a 15.1 on that rear engine. So these H's are running pretty healthy, and now we're gonna hook them both up, see what happens. Place your guesses. I have no idea what it's gonna do. I'm hoping we can crack into the 13s on the twin H's. That's gonna be the goal. It'd be cool if we could just skip over 14 completely, but solid 13-second car on some twin H's. I think that should be doable, but we'll hook them both up now and see what it does. All right, both motors hooked back up, and this time we'll do a pass on twin H's. And like I said, I'm hoping to see a 13. I'm gonna be kind of optimistic. I'm gonna say 13.6, because honestly, these things feel pretty peppy. I thought it might barely crack into the 13s, but after I felt it on the street, I think it's gonna do it pretty easily. So I'm thinking a 13.6 at 112. That fast? I'll say a 13.6 at 106. That's what I'm going with. So 16 extra mile an hour out the back and a whole second off the time. See what it can do. Can't forget about the throttle cable. All right, good to go. Time for some 13s. All right, guys, here we go. Both H22s powering the Prelude down the drag strip, both cracking VTEC. I also want to know I have not missed third gear yet, and I've made 2 solid runs. So we'll see if we can do it again with both engines running. Hit third, make it down the track. Hopefully launches even better. But yeah, hat's coming off, helmet's going on, because there's a good chance this thing runs faster than a 14, and we need a helmet for that. So front engine on. Rear engine on, we are engaged. Both engines running, hit the headlights. And we are ready to go. Not gonna do a burnout on this one with all 4 motors. Gonna go around the water box and see what she does. 2 completely stock NA H22s in a Prelude. This thing is pretty wild. All right, twin engine H22 Prelude. See what she does here.
$12.64. Wow.
Oh, I missed second gear, and we were reeling this guy in, dude. This thing gets it. Woo! Freaking missed second. Man, it actually got up and went pretty good. We gotta run that again. I got a little impatient on that shift. Dude, 12.6 at 113 with a misshift? Holy crap, dude. You did a 1.8 to the 60 foot. That's wild. Dude, this thing with some turbos on it is gonna be insane. Oh my gosh. We have to get it back in line. That's nuts. 12.6. Without the misshift, this thing could probably go at like a 12.2. That's crazy. Damn. Damn, I'm impressed. 12.6. I did not expect that. Honestly. That's pretty wild. It went from a 15.4 to a 12.6. It literally took off 3 seconds by having the extra engine helping. Man, 1.8 to the 60 foot. If we had a handbrake too, and we had some limited slip differentials in this thing, woo! Damn, dude. It went a whole second faster than I thought it was gonna go. And remember, I was about to say 112. I was like, yeah, that's too fast. It literally went 113 out the back. I did not think it was, I thought maybe it might go 12.9. I'm like, if we're lucky, but it just did it no problem. That's crazy. I mean, you gotta think both these H's, they're rated at 200 horse-ish about at the crank. If you were to throw this thing on a dyno with them just on stock computers, I would assume it's putting down maybe 150, 160 to the wheels on each engine. So I figured, you know, about 300 horsepower combined all-wheel drive. I thought, you know, it might go mid to low 13s if we're lucky. But to go at 12.6, like, I remember my first 12 in the hatch was like a 12.5, and my hatch made 450 horsepower. So I'm really impressed with that. I didn't drive the hatch very good back then, but 12.6, damn. Dude, with 2 little baby turbos on this thing, it's a 10-second car easy. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we definitely got to put it back in line and actually hit second gear. I didn't miss third though, but I did miss second, twice at once on 2 engines. We'll get it back in line, hit second gear, and if we can do that again, I think it has at least a 1240 in it, probably without that misshift, maybe even a little more. That's impressive. I was not expecting that. This thing is so sick. You built a really badass car, Dennis, so it was so fun to drive. It's wild hearing both the H's going. It's definitely a unique feeling. That's definitely the fastest a stock H22 has been down the quarter mile because it had help from another stock H22. That's pretty cool. So we'll put her right back in line. I mean, she's ready to go. Try that again. So that was you in the Mercedes, right?
Yep.
Well, how fast did you just go on that pass?
12.7.
12.7.
Yep.
Oh, so we actually went a little quicker because I was starting to run him down, and I was curious how fast he went because he did beat us to the end. But that was a really close matchup for the Prelude. Like, we were right there, and then once I finally found second gear, I was starting to run him down slowly, but we definitely had some top end.
12.6.
12.6. Okay, so it was the
106.
same. At 106, yeah, we were it's almost identical. You just had a nasty tree. 075 on the tree. I don't have an e-brake in that thing,
Oh, okay.
so I'm just kind of rolling out.
Yeah.
Would you want to try to do it again?
If you want to run, I'll run with you. Yeah.
Because that's like a really even match.
It's all-wheel drive. It takes off fast.
I'm also all-wheel drive,
Oh,
but
well,
I'm
that's
on
a good race
clutch.
then. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Big
I'm stock engine.
Okay.
Bone stock, 4-cylinder. Prelude
Pretty
engine.
good.
Like 2 of them.
That's it.
2 engines.
You have two 4-cylinder engines?
Yeah, 2 engines.
That's
There's one in
awesome.
the front and in the back.
So does the front drive the front wheels and the rear drive the rear? That's awesome.
Yeah, cool. So,
Well, yeah, man. Want to run? Let's run.
yeah, I'm ready to go.
Cool.
I think you're the most even matchup out of the cars here. So
Awesome. Sounds good, man. I'll pull up.
cool. You know, while we're out here, we might as well race some people and start taking some names, but that thing is pretty fast. If we can cut a good tree, I think we can take him down. But he did a 12.6, so if I can't cut a good tree, like, I got to be on that shift, and we might be able to run him down. But that's a really even match, so we'll see if we can get our first kill in the Prelude against this Mercedes.
It does have a tune.
It does have a tune.
It has a Rentec tune. Has
Nice.
about
Yeah.
45 horsepower.
By turbo,
Bi-turbo, V6 twin turbo.
V6 twin turbo, and got nothing for our twin H's, dude. I did not expect it to go that fast. I really didn't. I thought it was gonna go mid-13s, but that just made everything so much more exciting. I mean, if you guys drag race, you know a mid-12-second car, like, that's no slouch, and I'm just, the fact that it did that on 2 bone stock H's, like, nothing done to them. Stock ECUs, everything. That's pretty wild. I think just with a dyno tune on each motor, it might be able to go 11s easily. That's crazy. Bone stock motors.
Well, me too.
I got this one in the front.
Motors, plural?
Motors plural. You can go look in the back window too.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that before.
It's just one shifter and they're both connected together. So it shifts both of the transmissions.
That's fucking amazing.
All right, we're running it back with the Mercedes V6 bi-turbo car on a tune. And I think we can get him if we can get a good tree, but without that handbrake, it is gonna be tough. He went a 07 on the light. I'm not gonna be able to go that fast. I might be able to get like a 0.2 if I'm lucky, honestly, because it's hard. It is not a pro tree, so I do have the advantage with the bulb drop right there, but I'll try to cut a good light, and if we can actually get it in second gear, I think we can take this guy out. But we took him down, boys. That was a much better run.
$12.35.
Dude, this thing gets it. That was a sick race. Thank you, sir. Ooh, 12.3 at 113. And I hit rev limiter in second gear pretty bad, so I think this thing has about a 12.2 in it, and then there'd be nothing left after that. 12.3. That is nuts. 3 more tenths off the time because of my misshift. Just keeps getting faster. 12.3 at 113, and I hit rev limiter pretty bad in second. All the shifts were great, but I was looking at the Mercedes and I forgot that I was supposed to shift, so I was like da 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 da, then hit third. So I mean, that right there is a 12.2 at least. Don't think it could ever quite squeeze an 11, but I say 12.2, maybe a 12.1 on a perfect pass. But man, I did a 0.29 to the tree. Not great, but we were still able to run him down and come around him. 12.3 at 113 on 2 bone stock H22s in a Prelude.
Sick race, dude.
Dude, that was solid.
That was good.
Came
That was
around
good.
you barely at the end.
Yeah.
I hit rev limiter,
Uh-huh.
and I was looking at you. I forgot I had to shift, and then I just
Yeah.
barely came around.
That was my fastest pass of the night too, 12.5. So
12.5?
that was a good race.
Yeah, I did a 12.3.
Hell yeah.
But my
Sick
tree
race,
was a
dude.
.29.
Yeah, I was 0.16.
So a little slower.
Yeah.
If you got that .07, you might have
Yeah,
got,
it
you might have had me.
for sure.
That was a good race, man.
Sick,
though.
bro. Good race.
That was sick.
Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Well, I saw it launch and get up in the air, and I was like, what? There's no way the Prelude's doing that.
There's also one up here.
No.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Judy, check this out. 2 motors. That's really cool. I've never seen anything like that from my life.
So the last time I was at the line, it sounded like it was about to hit like a little rev limiter well before the red line at like 8,500. So these ECUs might be like chipped or something. And look what we just found out. It's holding right at 6,500 RPM. So I think I just got everyone revving, but we accidentally just started a rev battle. But it has a launch control on the computers, and I haven't even been on the launch control. So this time we're sending it, boys. See what it does. Looks like we're racing an Audi R8 too, so you know I gotta give it my best shot.
.25 with 112.
12.2. 12.2 at 112 with a 179.60 foot. That was a good run right there, boys. That was a damn good run. Well, boys, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. 12.2 at 112. And there was a little bit more I could have improved on. I still hit limiter just for a split second on both the 2.3 and the 3.4 shift. It was just barely hit rev limiter, so she might have a 12.1 in her, I think, but I don't think there's gonna be enough there to run an 11. If we went like a 12.1 or a 12.0, I would put it right back in line and try it again for that 11, but there's still a little too much we have to make up for there. It did a 179.60 foot, which was the best 60 of the day with the, after we found out that it has a launch control, so that's pretty sick. But overall, I'm blown away by this thing. To run a bottom 12 on 2 bone stock H's, like, it exceeded my expectations for sure. What's up?
How you doing?
Good. So we just got back from the track, and I wanted to know what you think your twin H22 car did today.
I'm thinking high 11s, maybe 11.8.
You're pretty close,
Okay.
but we did a 12.2.
Oh wow.
12.2. Man, everyone's guessing. I thought you were gonna expect. I was honestly expecting like 13s. I'm surprised,
Oh wow.
but still 12.2 at 112 with a 179.60 foot was our best today.
That's stock, unmodified engines, stock ECUs. That's pretty awesome.
Pretty nuts. Is there anything done to the ECUs at all? Because I noticed we found out that it has a rev limiter at 6,500. If it's factory, I didn't know about it. I mean, maybe people in the comments know, but
No.
when it's under zero, when it's at like 0 mile an hour wheel speed, it has a limiter at 6,500, like a launch control. So I didn't know if you had like a chip or something done to them, or that's just factory.
No, but I did notice that. Yeah, I thought that was normal.
Okay.
I didn't know that wasn't
It might just be normal, honestly, but I
Yeah,
thought they might have had something done.
I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and Yeah, that's so cool. Like, you know, we can do all the math and calculate, but you're putting down some real numbers. That's awesome to see finally. Cool. Well, thanks so much. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with it in the future.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Take care.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Freaking 12.2 at 112 mile an hour for the twin engine Prelude. I'm impressed. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see. Obviously, I want to get a couple Terpskis on. Just imagine if we had 2 of these in that Prelude. I mean, the hatch. Oh, dude, we got Larry just hanging out. I didn't even see him there. Even Larry loves the hatch, so, you know, new shop came with some new friends. But, yeah, I don't think we're going to go that crazy, but, dude, if we put a couple turbo kits on these H's and just take them to where the stock transmissions are reliable, like 350 to 400 wheel on the front and rear engine, this thing's going to be nuts. So let me know what you guys would like to see. That's going to wrap it up for this video, and we'll see you later.